Yes, I'll put the question on chat. So hi, and welcome to SDE Skills Saturday night or Sunday morning mock interview session. In this session, the candidate is going to be asked one behavior and one technical question to kind of simulate the real life scenario in an interview. Tonight, I'm going to interview Alok. Am I spelling it right? Pronouncing it
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Cool. And
Thank you.
so the rest, you're welcome to comment in the chat in the Zoom meeting. So have fun and hope you'll learn something from this session. So Alok, are you ready?
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm going to paste a one code interview link in the chat, and I'm going to ask you first one question. Okay. So, we all make mistakes and we wish we could take back. So, tell me about a time you wish you'd handled a situation differently with a colleague.
Uh, sure. Uh, yeah. Basically, in one of the projects, we were there was a requirement where we wanted to provide some quantization, dequantization uh, support, and okay, let me change this. This is a little bit more specific, so let me get back. So uh, there was a scenario where we were working on something called distributed cache, basically. So there's a client, there's a server. Client makes the call to the server and checks if some value is available, get the value. If it is not available, then it makes the computation. So at a very high level, some sort of a caching service. And in this case, what was happening is there was some setup issue in the sense that the server and client was having misconfigured. And that scenario, like so the contention point, or you can say a blind spot or individual preferences. I was stuck at the argument that since it's a setup issue, it doesn't happen in the production or the live environment, and we don't need to complicate the design for this situation. While my colleague happens to have the argument that though it's a very corner case scenario, nonetheless it can happen. And I think for a time we were log jammed because of our own on stand, rather than understanding like what could be, how could we breach, because it's nothing about correct or wrong. It's more like a trading off, basically. Bring in some complexity, but then it becomes more robust, and what are the chances and gains are like uh, those are the trade-offs. So yeah, I think like then we slowly shared more examples and the cases to make our points, and we could avoid that situation. But to begin with, it started as if like sometimes like while we are writing some test cases, etc. But those are hard to happen scenarios, and in prod environment they won't happen. But there's still certain value in writing those test cases just for just for the code coverage aspects.
So, how would you handle that situation differently?
Yeah, I think being right and wrong, rather than taking a stand of being right and wrong, what we need to understand is the cases, you use cases which is running someone's mind, like why someone is wanting some feature, or why someone is wanting some solution. uh, so the way to handle differently is like I was missing, or I was missing the how could we get out the thought process uh, more concrete than like many of the times we just say like this is how I feel, it's right. But how can we augment that feeling with some sort of either instances or quoting from elsewhere, from some examples, like which is running his mind, like why he thinks that makes sense. So I
So,
think it's share
mhm.
of the, yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt. You
Yeah,
gonna ask?
so I think most of the times the gap is about either articulating or relating to that scenario. And while something which I have not gone through might look very of lesser significance to me, vis-a-vis someone else has experienced this and uh, seen advantages or the disadvantages or the pitfalls of not handling certain things, becomes a big issue in someone else's mind. So lastly it boils down to uh, more sharing of the information and uh, uh, removing the subjectivity
Ambiguity, you
and
mean?
bringing the objectivity with
Got it.
examples or the use cases.
Okay, got it. So what you would do differently is actually gather more requirements regarding that certain task that you have to do, right? Instead of just going out there and doing like freestyle, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Um, so are we gonna proceed with the technical question? Did you get the link that I sent in the?
Yes.
Okay.
I just opened the link.
All right. So I'm gonna say there are in gas stations. Before I start, actually, can you share your screen?
Oh yeah. So
All right. I'm gonna paste the question right here. Um, what is your language of choice?
I will choose C++.
C++. plus plus. C++.
Yeah, I
There you
see
go.
that's the,
Okay.
okay.
Multi-line is still like this. Yeah. All right. You see the code. Okay. So there are in gas stations along a circular route where the amount of gas stations I is gas of I, which is an array. You have a car with an unlimited gas tank, and it cost I of gas to travel from station I to its next station, I plus one. You begin the journey with an empty tank at one of the gas stations. Return the
Oh,
starting gas station's index if you can travel around the circuit once in the clockwise direction. Otherwise, return minus one. So note, if there is existing solution, it is guaranteed to be unique. Both input arrays are non-empty and have the same length, and each element in the input array is a non-negative integer.
okay. Let me just read it once again.
Yeah, no problem.
This that multi-line issue. There are n gases with the amount of gas at station I is at. Okay. You have a car with an unlimited gas tank and it cost I of gas to travel from station I to its next station I plus one. Okay. Cost I, like cost zero from zero to one, cost one from one to two. Okay. And n minus one from n minus one to circular array. So last one would be from there to zeroth. Okay. You begin the journey with an empty tank that you begin the journey with an empty tank at one of the gas stations. Okay. Return the starting gas station's index if you can travel around the circuit once in the clockwise direction. Otherwise, return minus one. Okay. So the gas at stations are one, two, three, four, five. Okay.
So
Uh,
here's an explanation right here. So
okay.
you start at index at station 3, which is index 3. And
So input is gas and cost only, but start point is, that I need to return. Okay.
yeah,
If you can travel, okay. Fill up the units, 4 units of gas. Start at station 3, index 3. So index 3, which has the gas 4, right? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. 0 plus 4, 4. Okay. Got it. 4, travel to station 4. Your tank is 4 minus 1. Got it. And then I get the 5 there. Okay. And it becomes like this. I keep on going. And that way we come back to the same station. Need to come back to the same station. Your gas is just enough to travel back to station 3. Therefore, return 3 as they start. Okay. Okay. And could be anyone else, whichever satisfies. That's a possible answer.
Yeah, so
If there can be more than one,
yeah, so you see, you gotta make a circle and then come back to 3. Um, you see, you're gonna have enough to actually go back to 3 because as you see here, every time
yes.
the gas that you need it increases by 1. So then in this case, right,
Yeah,
5
yeah,
minus
makes
you
sense.
have enough.
What I'm asking is if there could be more than one index from where someone can go and come back to the same point, then return only one of the indices, is it?
Um,
Let's say there are possibly more than one. Oh, it's guaranteed to be unique. Got it. Okay. If
yeah,
there
it
exists a
says
solution,
yeah,
it's guaranteed to be unique. Got it. Sorry.
yeah.
Both. Okay. Makes sense. Okay. Yeah. So I get the problem statement. Let me think what uh, I see. So
Yeah, you
so
can
one
try this input out,
sure.
see how it goes.
So one thing is just if we I mean n square, it's evident we can go we can try each index and check and return. So hello.
Yeah, so you start always in the you see started you
No,
start from here, right? Mm-hmm.
yes,
Go
what
ahead.
I'm saying is with n square, the crude solution could be n square. I can always start. I can check for each indices and
Mm-hmm.
check if I can come back to that guy or not.
Yeah, so if you start from this, you have to come back to that.
I get it. I'm just saying like I can solve this question with crude solution by n square processing
Okay, how would you do that?
because each I will choose first zero index 0 and then check whether I can come back to that guy or not. Then I will choose another index and then I will check I can come back or not.
Okay. Oh, so
Do
so
I
you're
make
saying
sense?
that yeah, so you're saying that if there's not enough, you're just gonna stop at some point, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It will be an early exit, and if
Mm-hmm.
I come back, then that would be the answer.
Okay.
And if none of them gives me, then I will return -1.
Okay, cool.
So I start with that, or we look for if we can do better than that.
Um, it's up to you. It's your stage.
Okay, sure, sure. So what I mean to say is, in generally, sometimes like okay, if that one, I mean, yeah, I think I should ask it at lastly. If that has any value, I should code up that first and then look for the optimization rather than not providing anything. So
Yeah,
let
you
let
can
me
if you
let me
want, you
provide
can
that.
just explain it to me like the whole, steps, and then
Ye-
you can see how you can optimize.
yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me just say those steps and code for that first. And so return is some int uh, age uh, route possible, whatever. And I'm taking input as this gas and the cost. So I will take assumingly, which I'm not changing, gas and cost. Uh, and I can check for So I go to the gas for uh, each indices. I'm trying that solution, starting there and manipulating like how I'm checking uh, plus gas minus cost plus gas minus cost. That's it, right? So if any point of time, uh, so start gas and then so I will say start is equal to 0. I mean, this is the gas. And for let's say, mm, so let's say I start some start index, uh, some start index. Yeah, I can call. So I should just say internal function to say start. In here it will say what did we want it to return one minus one, otherwise return the starting index. Okay, otherwise return minus one. And here we can just say bool basically, or if it is not possible, it will return just minus bool just. This thing, and anytime we get, we can return there gas cost and the I. So if this is true, then just return the index. Uh, so this becomes uh, okay. And let me code this part. Uh, let me code this part. So we have the starting. I can just say station to make it a little bit easier. Less coding and gas. Okay. So we are going from start to this thing and just maintaining the gas. Uh, if we come back, then we are starting from ATX. Okay. So this we are traversing from start size and I plus plus. And but the gas is when I say 0, it actually means because I'm giving the index. So rather than that, we are starting from idx plus 0. So idx plus 0. So our gas will always keep becoming gas is equal to uh, gas plus gas plus what I am looking for is I'm starting at this induction. So I plus idx, I plus idx, but it has to be, let's do the mod, do the mod. I will do that. So this is the gas at this induction, but when I go to the next, gas becomes minus this. So let's say it's equal to cost of, do the mod here also. Let me do the mod. And if gas is, so we are keep going. If need to check equal to or not check equal, I will check this if equal requires or, and if any time that happens, maybe at the last time gas 0 is fine. Okay, so 1 second, this written false. Okay, let me just go over completely. So this is okay. I'm here 0 besides and checking for all the possible indexes because I can start from I or I can start from any one of them. Makes sense. And then if root was is possible, if root is possible, then I return the same thing. Not what is I? No I. This is I is what I want to return. And if this doesn't happen, all are false. I return -1. And here root possible is root possible. It's okay. And here's the index. So index. If I make a circuit, then return true. Otherwise, anytime return false. Now just check the calculation. So I have the start gas 0, and then when we say at index idx, so I will say I need to cover n gas stations, and I start from whatever idx is given, and that is the plus of gas, right? Uh, and I need to do the mod here. So when it becomes 0 to n minus 1, and I'm adding, I need to do the mod here, percentage. Uh, so 0 to let's say 7, I am at, I was given 5 and add 3, uh, add 5 will become 10, which is percentage of s dot size. Should be percentage of s dot, percentage s dot size. Uh, 0, 1, 2, 3. Let's say I came here 3 and then I want to go to the last is 3 plus 4. Uh, we will run the loop from 0 to 3. 0 to 3, then first 3. 3 is fine. And then the moment I say plus 1, it will become 4. 4 percentage mod size is 4. So it should become 0. Yeah. And if 5 mod 4, 1. Okay. So percentage mod is fine. Same should be, yeah. I can do it here. Auto uh, correct index, auto index is equal to Control C. Okay. One more thing. So gas plus is fine completely, but cost, have I messed up a little bit? Started in index 3 and fill up 4 units of gas, and the cost, the final, here it would be 4, here it would be 4, and we want to go to the next, so this would become this minus cost at 0th is for uh, cost I of gas to travel from I to I plus 1. Yeah. So I to I plus 1, I got this thing, and minus this thing, so that this much is will be left when I reach to the next one. And when I reach to the next one, if it is less than 0, then I return false. Yeah, looks okay to me. And
Cool. Can you
okay, so let me
yeah,
try
just
to run
run
this.
yeah. You can run a couple of tests like manually
This,
by
yes,
providing the values and all that.
absolutely. So hopefully this syntax works for the vector. Actually, I can directly give why I'm giving like this. Okay.
Can you name the same methods the same?
Uh,
Probably. Okay.
sorry, did I miss something?
I'm sorry. No, it's good. You have I mean different signatures for the method, so it's fine.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Because I have different signatures, so I thought it's okay. But otherwise, I can say different name if you want.
Yeah, no
But
problem. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, it's fine.
let me try to run. Forty. The files include is missing. Is that the thing? Yeah.
You can scroll down. Yeah.
Yeah, but
No, on
error is
the
same.
no. Scroll down the terminal because I don't think it went down.
Oh, I see. I see. 1 second. You're right. I didn't check it. It refreshed.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
-1.
It's saying -1.
That's good.
So
Let's see the other example. 3.
3.
Cool. Let me see. Um, all right. So you said something about simplifying. Since we have some time, can you try to what is first of all what is the complexity for this?
N square.
A square. Can you tell me the space complexity too?
Space complexity is O1.
Correct. Good. So is there a way to optimize this?
Yeah, so let me think 1 second. So I'm checking the gas, and if we started, let's say, at hypothetical position, we couldn't complete. Uh, so that means somewhere we're feeling we couldn't complete means we couldn't
See
complete means
how you go. You see, you're iterating through each of the gas um, values, and then in the
yeah.
interval possible, you're iterating again. So can
Hmm.
you think of a way to kind of like,
Yeah. Actually, like wherever we faulted, I think we have some little bit more information there rather than starting just from the nest of it actually. Uh, so if I couldn't make it, that means just 1 second. So let's say hypothetically I started anywhere and then at some place I couldn't make it. If I couldn't make it, that place, that means that means uh, if I couldn't make it that place, maybe the higher anyway. I took all the gases in between. Uh, so if I shift next one, either the cost was too much between them, which didn't do the justice, but that could be at any stretch. That could be at any stretch where problem might have happened. So let's see from here. Is route possible? And I'm checking and finding something messed. Uh, so I'm good as long as the cost between the stations. One is initial buffer and second is cost. Uh, 1 second. Uh, at any station when I arrive, I can go to the nest as long as I have. mm, so each station. Actually, so but it could be any combination, right? If I have three there, uh, I get only one here, but and we are saying there's only one station like that. That is possible. uh, so the start is making difference. How the start is making difference is I have enough there. uh, I think in that terms there's no dp here because
what are you thinking right now?
yeah, that's a good. So what I'm thinking is like I anyway start at some point and then I get to know I cannot proceed. Do I have any more information rather than trying just nest to it? Do I have more information to jump few stations and try n- some other index rather than just nest index? I mean, my in my solution, we anyway have to start somewhere. We start and I figure out, let's say, and at 0th I get a return false at some place. do I have any more information rather than going to the first station? Can I go to the do I have any more information? I'm not using any information right now. Oh, I'm not passing any useful information from failure to the next run. So I'm thinking, do am I missing the information which I can use to rather than going to the I plus one, can I go to the some some other I? That's I'm thinking.
Try to think something about, let's say, the um, gas in a way that so
Cost is here.
try, instead of like affecting the gas um, all the time, like you can somehow keep adding to the gas, but have something else to kind of like keep track of the, the deficit.
I see.
Um,
I see. Am I going to the okay? So I have this gas and cost. So at any place, how much is the so someone comes with K here basically. So he will have K plus two and he needs to go. Actually, he will have, let's say, hypothetically, I have K here. So he will have K plus one, but his cost would be three. So he need K plus one minus three to be less than sorry, K plus one K plus 1 minus 3 to be greater than equal to 0. And then I can come up with the thing. So should that means K should be greater than 2 here. K should be greater than 2 here. And then I can see what should be greater than 2 here. And then, okay, let me 1 second. So I am thinking, let's say hypothetically, I have this some K gas here at this index. So that means that k how much k is needed at this station for sure is k plus 1 minus 3 should be greater than 0, which means I must have 2 here. Someone should must come with at least 2 here, and then I can check how much is gas is needed, minimum gas is needed at each point. 1 second. So minimum needed is 2 here, and here how much is needed. uh, Carryover is definitely carry is needed as 2. Otherwise, yeah, carry is needed 2. Here, how much carry is needed? Uh, Basically 4 minus 2, right? Yeah, I need, okay, carry is needed 2. And here, carry is needed 2. Here, the carry is needed. No carry is needed, basically 0, 0. And here is also 0. So that way, uh, does that give me anything? So I should not start. uh, I think ON it should be possible because I know. So another thing I'm thinking, like at each station I can know how much carry I need for sure.
Okay, so let's start from zero index, right? So let's go step by
Yeah.
step and see what we can do.
Yes. So here I need two. I need a carry of two,
Okay, so
and
that's
here I
kind of
need
like
the
a deficit, right? Okay,
yes, exactly. So I cannot start here for sure because I cannot make it here. Just not possible to start here.
got it.
And then similarly here I need two. So I can't start here either.
Yeah. So mean that you can't start from the zero index or the
Yes,
first
or
index.
the first
Okay.
index.
Okay, cool.
Here uh, here again I need two. So I can't start here. Anywhere deficit is greater than zero, I cannot. Only these are the two indexes where deficit is like, I mean, deficit is not there. But now I need to see, so these go out for sure, but then I still need to see how do I choose between this and this, and not only choose between this and this, even like do I need to go over all of them? But I have eliminated these at least, like, but still it doesn't become order of n, but I have eliminated few choices. This I cannot, like no point going over them, starting from them. But anyone which is,
Yeah, but you don't have to start from them, but maybe you can take some kind of advantage since you're
yes,
here,
yes,
you can collect some information.
correct, correct. And then whatever has max, I think that is also most beneficial actually. Yeah, yeah. So here the deficit is -3, and here also -3, both are equal. But wherever is the most deficit, I will start from there and check either it can make it or I can't make it, but no one else. I'm not sure of that part, if that greedy is working or not working. I need few more minutes to think. But certainly what I know is wherever is the most deficit, like negative deficit, I should start from there. So both are -3. Both are -3 actually. 1 -4 is also -3. 2 -5 is also -3. So why the solution is only uh, should be one of them. So if I start here, do I make it? Uh, F5, F5, and I arrive with one. I have five. So I have got this much, that it's a good idea to start with the highest deficit, but not sure whether uh, in this case, both index 3 and both index 4 both have the same deficit. But let me see if 3 works, 4 works or doesn't work. That will prove if I mean that will give some hint whether greedy works or not. So let's say rather than I will say travel to station 1, 2, 3, start at station 4.
So think about, like, let's say up to that point, you gathered some information about how much gas you would need, even though you didn't have enough yet to start, right?
Yes,
So, like, somehow save that information, right? And then see what
I see.
the current is. And if it's, if it's something that you can't travel, then you can't start from there. So you got to keep going
Right,
on.
right. Okay, okay. So 1 second, -2 deficit, and then I have here is again, sorry, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, and here -3, and here -3. So yeah, 2 is the deficit, but I can't start. Let's say start with uh, -3. Then again, I should update that information, that Here, if deficit is 2, then it will become 2 plus 2 plus 6. Basically, the final deficit would be like 6 here, and here it would be 3, and here it would be 0. Here it would be 0. So if I start from here, I see. If I start, so 2, 2, 6. So I can add those actually, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, and 3 and 0. So if so I will come up with the series which will say here you want to start here deficit is 6, and here deficit is lesser. So I should attack with the highest. So here it will be the highest deficit, and for this to fulfill, this is the highest deficit, 6, and that highest deficit is 6. Then I need to, okay, here minus 3, here minus 6. So if anytime it becomes minus, should not be possible. So I'm thinking like, so we again, so the way, can I write here? Basically, in
Yeah.
first go, I just put the deficit, which is 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, minus 3 here, and minus 3 here.
Yeah. I mean, okay. Yeah, you can do that way too.
And
Yeah.
then I'm checking like again summing and checking if any time becomes 0 less than -1, then solution won't be possible. So if 3
6.
and here 3 and 0, so here the solution is possible.
Yeah.
But if we take this case,
Mm-hmm.
uh, deficit is 1, here 1, here -1. So 1, comma 2, comma 1. Well, this was,
So how is it gonna
I,
be?
I
It's gonna
think I'm
be
still missing, right? Because this way I'm saying I still can make it, but this, we didn't had a solution for this, right?
yes. We didn't have solution for that.
Yeah, for this. So my final, oh, final deficit should go 0 sometime, 0 or negative. If it remains positive, then solution is not possible.
Yeah. If you look at it that way, I think it's more intuitive if you instead of doing cost minus gas, if
Right,
you do
right,
gas minus cost, is gonna be more clear, actually.
right,
So if you
right.
do -1 and then -2 and then you do -1, in that case you see it's less than 0, so means no, not that one.
Okay.
The bottom row, because
S-
what do you do? Oh yeah, that's true. I'm sorry. Yes, -1, what you
Yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah. Because that way, like intuition is better, as you are saying, exactly. Because
Yeah,
that's like, yes, here I'm like I have a reserve. Basically, positive
1.
is a reserve. So
Yeah,
so I have deficit in -1, then I have deficit in -2, and then -1.
yeah.
So
Correct.
since I don't become any time 0 or plus, the solution is not possible.
Correct.
I agree.
That's it.
But when it gives me 0, I think I still didn't figure out where is the place to start probably. That part I'm 1 second. Let me just
Yeah. So you
fix this.
just yeah, just think about it. Like when
Yes. Yeah, I should think about it rather than yeah, because since it's a unique solution, it should be easy. I mean, possible to -6 plus 3 -3
yeah, that's correct. Yeah. No, no,
and
no.
0.
That's oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, here's the yeah. So deficit only became yeah. So it shows the possibility, but the starting index should be wherever we have the least, uh, which is here, but maybe -1 of that because uh, this is -3. Here the deficit is start from the place where it's possible. So all this is here. It's start from the first possible. If I made the example a little bit different, that rather than 1 2 3, rather than having 4, if it I want to make it is positive, but other is much higher. So it would be better to start from there. Let's say 3 to uh, uh, and here I have more gas. Both are positive, but I want to say it's better to start here if 1 2 3 2 6 6 plus 2 6 8 1 plus 2 plus 3 uh, let me just say 6 8 8 plus I just want to say little different 8 plus 3 11 11 and cost is 5 4 no has to be 3 4 5 nothing 12 एक 13 13 हमारे 6 तो 8 5 13 let's say 5 here and 13 and cost is 2. Yeah, this is the example I want. Here I want, is it meaningful that start at, so -2 -2.
This is not gonna have enough to
This is not
actually
gonna enough.
yeah. Yeah, because he has 5 positive and 6 negative.
5
Yeah.
positive and
Yeah.
okay.
Anyways, we are running
Okay.
out of time,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
yeah, it's time for
Thanks.
feedback. I'm just gonna tell you exactly. Like, you were only missing 1 point. 1 point. You see, when you were so you need to keep track of the total gas so far, and then the current one, which will indicate whether you have deficit, meaning that you have less gas than the cost. And if you do, then you're not gonna consider that as a starting point. You will start considering as a starting point when you have more gas than a cost, the current one. Okay, and that's
Done.
gonna be at index 3. right here.
Index 4 also, that's the part I'm missing. Like even index 4 satisfies that part, right?
That's true, but I mean, you can you start whenever you find like a
First,
positive. Yes, first positive from gas minus cost. And
yeah.
yeah, so once you keep track of that, when you get to the end of the array and you have 0 or more, then it indicates he has enough. So you just return the start index. Otherwise, you return -1.
Okay.
All right. Yeah,
Okay.
so that was it. Now let's, I'm going to give you the feedback about the interview. So in the beginning, the behavior part, um, it was good. You explained the situation. I would just suggest using more I than we and our. So how you, um, what task you did and what did you do to actually solve the problem that's it, or a certain situation. And when you are talking about it, kind of like be more clear. So you practice that. I don't know if you've heard, but it's called STAR method, which
Start with
is yeah, situation, task, result, situation, task, action, and result. So what was the situation? What were the tasks? And then what actions did you take to actually give a positive result? Um, Besides that, now the technical part, the coding part, you did great. I mean, what I would suggest in the beginning is actually kind of like write a pseudocode. So in this case, maybe you had a clear idea what was going on, but let's say in some situations maybe you missed out something. So definitely like ask more question and do the pseudocode, and maybe you'll see that where you maybe making a mistake. In this case, you didn't make a mistake, which is great, but in some situations you will, and then you have to rewrite your code, and that's going to take more time. So yeah, definitely write try to write some kind of pseudocode in the beginning. Ask about constraints. Do I have to solve it in like a linear or quadratic time? Do I have to pay attention to space? So yeah, ask more questions in the beginning so you get the clear picture. Maybe this problem, it wasn't that much of ambiguous. You figured it out, but some other problems, they might have some hidden things that might trip you when you're doing the interview. Um, yeah, so you did great in solving the problem, even though you came up with a, as you said, brute force approach. It's a good thing that you solved it, even compiled it and worked. And then you explained about you tested your code. Let's say if you didn't compile and all, what I would suggest is plugging in some values and go line by line and see how that information is gonna be modified and what the output is gonna be. So kind of like a manual debugger. And yeah, you discussed about how to improve it. You were almost there, so you had the idea, which was great. And yeah, I think that's what I have. um, does anybody have any feedback for Alec?
So, I mean, it was a wonderful session conducted by both Martin and Alok, and thanks to both of you. But I think on Alok's side, I'll say that you could have saved time by not coding this, what do you say, brute force solution, right? You could have invested that time more on the optimized one. Because anyway, interviewer will mostly be impressed, like if you reach to the improvised one, you can give a pseudo code. So that would, at that point, I think you could have saved some time. But it's good. I mean, it was a wonderful. I mean, most of the things you were mostly on the right track. A couple of only points I'm missing. Yeah, that's from my side.
Correct. So as Shashank mentioned, like, and I'm gonna get back to what I mentioned at the beginning when, you discuss about your solution. How would you solve it? Like, write even a pseudocode that's gonna indicate you maybe a better solution than the brute force.
Exactly. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So
very fair. Excellent. Yeah, anyone else wants to add? But yeah, thanks a lot. I think I have taken some points down, and like while I reflect back, it looks very useful feedback in terms of like something clarity is. I mean, if some solution is known, then sharing it and saving the time for the next best approach would help would get me some time
Yeah.
Pseudocode would
Yeah.
also get me time to like not get into all the details unless like interviewer says that wants me to code that. So yeah,
Exactly.
that's a very meaningful suggestion. And same thing on the behavioral as well.
Yeah.
We'll try to
And
incorporate
also,
that.
you were verbalizing your thought process. Um, and you try to like kind of like uh, maybe be more involved in it. But I mean, most of the time you did, so that was great. So keep doing what you're doing. Um, anyone else has any feedback for Alec? Thanks, Shashank.
Yeah. Thank you, Martin. Thanks, Alok.
Thanks, Shashank. Yeah, I mean, probably I will sign up for more things. Yeah, this is quite useful. Like simple thing, but simple means like I mean, when you hear the feedback, it looks like yeah, I mean, those was the pitfalls, but you don't realize while doing it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
like practice only gets it. So I have made some notes as well,
Yeah,
Sure.
and that I will try to exercise that.
cool. Well, I'm glad you liked it and you learned something. So I'm gonna thank you all for attending. I'm just gonna stop the recording and maybe we can stay a little bit if you want for questions or talk a little for a few minutes. So thanks again for attending.